When the ball is released, the image of the ball enters the batter's eyes, where it's broken down into electrical impulses. The brain takes 110 milliseconds to decode this data. By now, the ball has already traveled 15 feet. While the batter is calculating the pitch's trajectory and whether or not to swing, the ball has traveled another 15 feet. Now is the moment of decision. He must start a swing with the ball still 25 feet away from the plate, or it will be too late. And in the last 15 feet, the brain and the eyes cannot work together fast enough, and the ball is essentially invisible. At 95 miles an hour, a pitch reaches home plate in 395 milliseconds, less than 4/10 of a second. That is, in fact, faster than the blink of an eye.
Hey guys, Coach Bill Sandillo coming to you from Chandler, Arizona, and for the next 10 minutes I'll be your personal hitting coach. So today we're going to talk about one of my coaches sent me a good video on how fast it is to hit a baseball, because we're talking and working on vision, we're working on ground force, we're working on the amount of force it takes to hit a baseball from the foot down position and what that foot down position generates in force. We equate it to ground force, which I talk a lot about in my training. And I tell my guys all the time, if you can learn these concepts, it'll be more beneficial to you as a hitter to understand how to create force using the ground and then using that deep barrel turn to get on plane. And we're also going to talk about the differences between, a lot of guys, I got a couple emails saying, I was taught to swing down, I was taught knob to the ball. I've talked openly about how bad it is, but again, remember, I come from a science place where I work with the biomechanics of the swing, and I've done a lot of studying on the science of why knob to the ball isn't good. So you just saw that video on how hard it is to hit a baseball, and that's why we work with what's called a progression program. We break our training down into segments from 10 feet, 20 feet to 30 feet. And we only work from 30 feet and in because, as you saw from that video, that intro video, is that it's really hard to hit a baseball and the brain has to sync up and you have to make decisions very fast. You have to understand the trajectory. And that's why it's hard to hit a baseball, because all these factors have to come into play. Now, let's talk about the ground force. Let's talk about why knob to the ball isn't good. So I'm going to show you some additional videos and I'll come back and we'll discuss those.
We can actually make contact all the way back here. You can make contact all the way through, and you can make contact all the way out through the end of your pitch. Staying on the plane of the pitch for a really long time, it gives you options, and it's not slower, it's faster because you used gravity to help with the drop.
All right, guys, so that first video, I want to stop it right there. So I wanted to show you why. We talk about getting on plane early, why it's important to have a deep barrel turn, why is it important to get on plane early. And again, of course, we know it's faster because some of the things that other hitting coaches don't talk about. You would think going from A to B in a knob to the ball setting that it would be a lot faster, but I'm going to show you another video here in a little bit of why it's not faster, because gravity doesn't allow you, it doesn't help you when you're turning the barrel, and that hand pivot point is a lot quicker when you're only using gravity and you're using your muscles to pull. When you're pulling, it's just strictly muscular. You're not using gravity. You're not using your hand pivot point to get on plane. And also, as you saw in that video, you can see that when you get on plane early, your hitting zone becomes much wider. You can hit it deep, you can hit it middle, and you can get it out front. When you talk about knob to the ball, you shorten, you eliminate all this area back here for getting on plane and for hitting the ball longer. So again, that's why we never talked about the two factors of gravity helping with turn, and then of course that hand pivot point as you get on plane and get that barrel on plane. And again, we mentioned this several times. A major league fastball comes in at a normal 8-degree drop. So unless we're plane matching and getting on plane deep, we're never going to match the plane of the ball. Okay, and that's all we're doing. So let's continue to watch this video, and it'll explain more about why a deep barrel turn works. So watch this video and I'll come back and we'll talk more.
Come over here. I'll prove it to you with science. if we look at how to go from point A to point B, a straight line is the quickest way to get from point A to point B. It's the shortest distance, but once you add gravity, a straight line is no longer the quickest way. It's the shortest, it's not the quickest. We've got two marbles here. Those marbles on this line, you can see, and I'm just dropping these. This curve, dropping and using gravity early as opposed to fighting gravity the entire way, is going to be significantly faster to be able to get to contact. Now when we apply that to a swing, this top swing is somebody having a short swing going straight down to the pitch. They're able to do this, according to Blast Motion, this took 150 milliseconds to be able to come from the ears all the way down out here to contact. The same person, we had a longer swing, let gravity help us early on. Now we're actually covering all the way through the zone, and then we're coming out and making contact even a little further out in front on this one. This opens up the ability to hit the entire field, and it only took 140 milliseconds. So that shaving of 10 milliseconds is massive, because that's an opportunity to see the pitch, react to the pitch, and you have the entire field that you can hit. A longer swing is faster and gives you more options.
Okay guys, so in that video, we just proved the concept. We can prove it with data. Here's the thing, we back it up with science, right? What happens when you go knob to the ball, you're allowing your upper muscles to just pull. And pulling, we know, if you're going from point A to point B, you know, that's the quickest between 2 points, except when you add gravity. Because again, pulling is not as fast as allowing gravity to help with that barrel turn, which creates whip, which this is the big thing. I always talk about, you want to whip the barrel to connection. It's faster and you cover more of your hitting zone. And it's backed up with science. If you've ever used technology like I have, I'm a big HitTrax guy. I don't really like Rapsodo. It's got a lot of stuff in there, and I think Rapsodo is good for pitching. But HitTrax Blast allows you to have that 3D motion capture where it shows you the swing plane. I like Blast for that reason. And of course, we can equate by looking at that under video, we can see just how much of the area you're actually covering. You're covering more of the hitting zone, and you're actually doing it faster. And why is faster important? Because it gives you more time for adjustability. Like we talk to our guys, as long as I'm ready to release and launch the barrel, I have more options when it comes to adjustability. And that's why big league hitters are able to be big league hitters, because they're able to adjust to off speed, not because they can't hit a fastball, because I think everybody can hit a fastball, right? But it's about adjusting to off speed when it just happens. And if you're on plane early, and that video just proved it, right? It's backed up by science and data, that if you can turn that barrel and don't go knob to the ball and push, you're actually quicker and you cover more area. Okay, let's continue to watch. We got one more video to watch, and I'll come back and give you my final thoughts.
Most hot swing is a short hands to the ball swing. Now the problem with this is when you do that, we're starting up here by our ears and we are coming straight down to the pitch. Now our strike zone here, what I've done is our strike zone matches up with the plate, but we also want to make contact a little bit out in front of the plate. So I've increased our strike zone here so you can see the window of contact. Where can we make contact out in front of the plate? When we go straight down, ears straight down, our window of contact is very, very short. Our chance, our opportunity to be wrong, to miss is very small. Let's come out to our ideal spots. We basically lose the entire bottom and back half of the strike zone, and it's our slowest possible swing because we're not allowing gravity to assist. This is all pure muscles. There's no help with gravity, no help with physics there. That's just pure muscle.
Analysis of Judge's swing mechanics reveals his form is textbook. This is why Judge is able to mash the ball with as much as 4,600 pounds of force. Now Stanton's power is rooted in his heavy stride. By using a firm foot strike, he's able to generate up to 500 pounds of ground reaction forces. That's enough to break an 1.5 inch slab of concrete. This sends an enormous amount of energy throughout his aggressive swing.
Okay guys, so we just watched the end of that video. and we backed up our claim about not going knob to the ball with science and data from Blast Motion and 3D motion capture, where gravity helps when you work your hand pivot point with gravity. It helps speed up your barrel, which makes you faster. The other thing we talk about in our training is ground force or ground reactionary force, and we talk about good mechanics. So we talk about with Aaron Judge, he has perfect mechanics. He sets himself up early. He gets himself in a position to launch because he has great mechanics. Yes, he's tall and he has longer arms, but again, anybody can have great mechanics and be a great athlete. And those are the three things we talk about. Having good mechanics, being a great athlete, and making good decisions in the box. Also, when you talk about science and data, we often talk about ground force, and we talk about ground reactionary force in my training, where we work from the ground up, and also we work from a load stride hold position. We work from the foot down position, and we work to swing backwards, because we want to get you to the live swings where you're working to get to foot down, so you have a good firm foot strike where you're well balanced, you're back, and then you work good mechanics, deep barrel turn, great barrel whip to connection. All that put together, guys, makes you to have the best swing you can possibly have. I hope this video works for you. Have a great rest of your week. And if you have any questions, keep those questions coming. Like and subscribe for more videos like this. We'll talk to you again soon.
You must be Don Caldwell then.
That's the rumor.
You retired too?
Not me. I'm in my prime.
Yeah, you look it.